Hi everyone, I'm Kim. I'm a mother, a midwife and a child health nurse, and I'd really like to improve the information or quality of information that's available to parents and give it to you in an easy format so that you can watch or listen to it whenever you choose to. Okay, so today I'll be covering food and healthy eating for babies from 1 to 2 years of age. Okay, so remember that every child is different. Okay, some days they'll be really hungry and other days they may not be as hungry, and that's just like us. We have days where we're not as hungry as others. Okay, so the recommendation for babies from 1 to 2 years is that they have breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon and tea and dinner, and oftentimes you'll find that babies at this age do just graze throughout the day. So the quantities that are talked about in the information from Australia, from government bodies and in organisations that deal with children, are that the daily requirements for children of this age group are that they have half a serve of fruit, and half a serve for this age group would be, one serve would be about their fist size of fruit. And so half a serve, so half a fist size of fruit is recommended for babies of this age group. That they have 2 to 3 serves of vegetables, okay, and the serve size for children of this age is a half a cup of cooked vegetables is 1 serve, or 1 cup of salad would be another serve, okay, so 2 to 3 serves recommended. 1 to 1.5 serves of dairy are recommended. So dairy, the serve size for dairy is that 1 cup of milk, so a 250 ml cup is standard cup, is 1 serve. 30 to 40 grams of cheese is another serve. 3/4 of a cup of yogurt is another serve, or half a cup of ricotta or cottage cheese would be another serve. Okay, so the baby can get all their calcium requirements from this much dairy in their diet. Okay, so I had a question around helping 14-month-olds to eat more, and I actually get asked by parents quite a bit. You know, they're concerned their baby isn't eating as much, but they're still having regular bottles throughout the day. Now, the 2 things associated with this, and one is that the recommendation around giving bottles is that we try to cut those out at around 12 months of age because it can interfere with their oral development and their teeth placement. And the other thing is that if they're filling up on milk, then they really may not have much of an appetite, and they're actually missing out on the iron-rich foods, so it can affect their iron levels. They can have low iron levels. So if this is something that you think might be affecting your child's appetite, then this little bit isn't based on evidence. It's just a way that you might be able to consider to decrease the bottles, is that you start off and you do it gradually. So you might have 3/4 of your serve, however much you're giving in the bottle, of full cream milk, and so then add the other quarter to top it up with water, okay? And then a few days later you make it half and half, and then a little bit later you make it, you know, 1/4 milk and 3/4 water. So the taste will change. So the baby's likely to say that doesn't taste right anymore. Be aware that if the baby sees you putting the water in the bottle, they'll know that you haven't given them full cream milk. So just be aware of that. So, but otherwise you could try that if you wanted to. Okay, so that's the dairy. So the other thing is your seeds, your grains and your legumes. The recommendation around this is that they have 4 serves of these foods in a day. Whole grain is actually recommended. And a serve for these for babies of this age for these things is a half a cup of whatever. So it's rice or pasta. Half a cup is 1 serve. Okay. So when we talk about protein, we're talking about meat, fish, chicken, eggs, poultry, nuts, legumes, those sort of things. So there is a slight recommendation depending on the type of meat as to how much you're given. It ranges from 60 to 100 grams of being a serve. But as a good guideline, the size of your child's palm is probably a rough guide that you could use to determine a serve size for your child when we're looking at protein. Okay, so as far as drinks go, they actually don't need any drinks that are sugary. They don't need any salt, and they don't need any honey either. because then that develops their taste to want something that's sweeter or saltier, or even, you know, the fast foods are high in fat as well, and not necessarily good fats. So this is a time where you could really shape what your child eats and their choices by actually just giving them what you want them to have, and not necessarily having any of the other food in the house if that's doable. All right. So the recommendation around drinks for babies at this age is breast milk if you're still breastfeeding, water, and over 12 months it doesn't have to be boiled water or cooled boiled water like it does before the 12-month mark. And they don't need any soft drinks, tea, coffee, any of those things. They really don't need, and some of those things can be quite harmful. Also remember, as you probably know, is that fruit juice can have just as much sugar in it as a soft drink. So if you want them to have fruit, you're better off just giving them the whole fruit rather than a juice, okay? So if you are a vegan or vegetarian and the baby is going to be vegan or vegetarian, the recommendation is that if it's possible that you breastfeed for 2 years. And if that's not possible, that you actually use a soy-based baby formula for 2 years, okay? So the baby gets all their nutritional needs met. Apart from that, babies over 12 months really don't need any formulas. They can have full cream cow's milk. They need full cream for up to the age of 2 years because it helps with their development of lots of things in their body. So they need full fat milk, cheese, any food full fat for 0 to 2-year-olds, okay? So if your baby is on some sort of diet, so say they are vegetarian, just be aware that they may need more iron-rich foods or foods that are rich in B12 and zinc as well. Just let me see what else I'll cover. Okay, your healthy fats. Okay, so we all need healthy fats in our diet. So that includes things like your olive oils, your avocado and your nuts, that sort of thing. So if you have any questions, you can pop it in the comments section below, and I'll certainly answer you, or I'll direct you to our closed group, which is Babies and Parents Matter closed group, where there's lots of free information in there and everyone can have access to that. Have a beautiful day, happy eating, have fun while you're eating with your child and they're learning to enjoy food. Bye.